Welcome to Tuesday, October 18th, 2022, your Day Weather Podcast, brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com or on the Facebook page. They have more original Wyoming news content than anybody else. As we go ahead into this Tuesday, there's nothing new. Basically, we continue to have this very nice weather that's going to last for most of you through Saturday. Now, Saturday is going to be a day of change for areas west of the divide. We'll show you that here in a minute. And certainly everybody in the west will be feeling the changing weather conditions by Sunday and Monday. But until then, the weather is just going to be fabulous through Friday. But those changes are coming this weekend. And as we mentioned yesterday, hunters and travelers, especially hunters, need to pay attention because we'll transition out of this warm, dry pattern to a colder, wet one. And I think this is really a change in the weather that will be felt in the mountains the most. Yes, on the plains, but this is going to be one of these systems that it's going to be the mountains. And for you folks that are along and west of the divide, that's where the biggest impacts will be. East of the divide, there'll certainly be impacts, but the impacts east of the Front Range and mountains will be less. Certainly the mountains, though, are looking at their first real, I would say, significant front of the fall season. More great photos coming on in. Now, there's a couple of photos I'm going to show you where there's something missing. There's something missing. Keen observers might figure this out. So here's a beautiful shot out of Bighorn, Wyoming. Another shot out of Cheyenne. What's missing? When you look at the water, that's what's missing. No ripples, no waves. Where's the wind? Boy, talk about a pattern here this fall where we really haven't had much wind, and those two photos really show that nicely. More great shots coming in throughout the west. And now we're really focusing in on the colors across the lower elevations. Got a couple of shots here from southern Colorado, Colorado Springs. Another shot there where the fall colors in town, because we haven't had a big snowstorm and we haven't had a lot of wind, been able to enjoy these colors for a little bit longer than we normally do. Today's satellite photo shows a big swirl over the Great Lakes. That's where all the cold is. The jet stream is taking a big dip. Here's some upslope low stratus clouds and fog on the back edge of where that colder air is behind that low. But you can see the rest of the central and western United States really cloud free. But look at these frost and freeze advisories. You see all that bluish purple color and those pink colors? Those are advisories for freezing conditions. Look at it getting all the way to the Gulf Coast. So that cold really driving into the Great Lakes and the eastern side of the United States. Look at the upper peninsula of Michigan. Winter storm warning for Marquette. Snowing, windy, and 32 degrees. So changes are occurring, but here in the western United States, we're just under this big, dominant area of high pressure. And we will be all the way through Friday into Saturday. These are the temperature anomalies by tomorrow morning. You can just slice North America in half in terms of who's warm and who's cold. This is the temperature anomaly by Friday. You can see that the cold is beginning to retreat to the far east coast while the warmth is spreading more east. It's getting pushed out by the changes that are coming here later. And those are the changes. This is by 6 p.m. Saturday. We have a trough and a cold front into the Pacific Northwest driving eastward. This is something we see a lot of times in October, November, frontal systems that look just like this. They're going to move through quickly, but there will be a big displacement from the warmer air to the colder air. And this is the type of frontal pattern that really gets the high country, especially the Pacific Northwest and the Central and Northern Rockies. And that cold with the blue arrow there comes in and pours in behind that front as it swings on by. This is by 6 p.m. Sunday. So by 6 p.m. Sunday, it's at the divide and going east of the divide. And that's going to allow that colder air to come on in. Now, at least at this point in time, we expect this trough to move quickly into the upper Midwest and not become a closed low in Colorado. But that's one thing we need to watch. We need to see if this thing slows down at all. We're still far enough away that there's going to be some changes, but our confidence is very high that at least this strong front will be coming on through. And there you can see the temperature anomaly by 6 p.m. Sunday. So the cold is breaking out east of the divide. Look how cold it is. Going to be in the Great Basin, Utah and Idaho there. Cold temperatures from Portland and Vancouver all the way to Los Angeles and the Baja of Mexico. That cold air, this rushes on in. So this is a reversal of where we are now. This will change over time, but this is kind of the first look at the precipitation potential through Monday evening. And you can see the Pacific Northwest, the mountains of Idaho and Montana really here seeing the heaviest precipitation. But look at the mountains of Colorado, mountains of Wyoming. You see the blue colors and the yellow colors there. That's going to be a significant amount of moisture. But notice, you get east of the mountains and there's not going to really be a lot. Now, unless it becomes a closed low and slows down, we don't see a lot of precipitation east of the divide, although the cold certainly will spill on in. And there's your snowfall forecast. So this is why we're really hitting the mountains of Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, into Montana there. If you're going to be hunting into those higher elevations, you can see where up high especially, and really it's going to be snow levels getting down to very low elevations, but certainly those mountain areas could see significant snow out of this really late Saturday, Sunday, and into early Monday. Look at Alaska, snow beginning to pile up there and into the Northwest Territories. And then look at the shot for North America. This is through next Thursday. You can see the snow accumulating in Canada, Western Canada, up here into these areas here, where the source region for our cold air masses come later in the season. So we're going to be looking at the western half of North America finally seeing the first significant high elevation snow of the season. Have yourself a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.